Hello everyone, welcome to today's Novedge webinar, XirusCAD for Rhino, Organic Freeform Surfacing at Ease. XirusCAD provides a new intuitive CAD solution for organic and freeform modeling. XirusCAD allows instant modeling. It has a few parameters, exact precision, and you can apply all Rhino-NURBS commands to XirusCAD. Don't go anywhere. This is only the beginning. Today's webinar presenter, Daniel Schmitter, is the CEO and founder of Miracoy, the Swiss CAD technology company that develops XirusCAD. Daniel has a PhD in engineering and has worked at Siemens prior to founding Miracoy. He has 10 years of experience in shape modeling across various industries. And now let me tell you a little bit about Novedge. And this is a product page where you can find XirusCAD and where you can download a free demo for 30 days if you're so inclined to play with it. Novedge is changing the way designers purchase 3D software. We offer more choices, more freedom, best advice, faster services, and most importantly, no headaches. Check us out at novedge.com. And for more daily news and limited time promotions, you can find us on all the social medias like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. Last but not least, today's webinar is free and will be recorded. So if you want to rewatch it or share it with friends or colleagues, you can find it on our Vimeo and YouTube page. Just search for Novedge. And now let me share Daniel's screen so it can give you an overlook to the new and exciting XirusCAD. Take it away,
All right.
Daniel. Great.
Thank you very much, Barbara. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Very good. All right. So thank you very much and welcome to everybody to this XirusCAD webinar. I'm here with Pablo Garcia Morena. He's the head developer of the XirusCAD kernel. Maybe quickly say hello.
Hey, hello, everybody.
So we're very excited to present you our product. We're gonna try to give you a nice overview over the main functionalities, give you a little bit impression what you can do with XirusCAD, what this is about, and also give you some inspiration maybe to go to our website and download the free trial version. So let's start right away. This is a small presentation first. So XirusCAD is all about 3D product design. It's about organic freeform modeling, including Subdivision. So here are just a bunch of products that you can see. So you can see everything's about smoothness, having clear, clean, smooth surfaces. And to summarize some of the characteristics, so as I mentioned, it's freeform and organic. There's Subdi, smoothness, local control. It's a Rhino plugin, as Barbara mentioned, and it's fully compatible with the Rhino workflow, which means you can convert all the surfaces into NURBS, BReps. You can apply Rhino trimming, offsetting, and so on. A quick word about the support we provide. So if you go to miracoy.com, there's a user forum, there's a documentation of all the commands and the technology. If you go to YouTube, we have more than 150 videos explaining commands, giving also providing examples of products. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with the latest features. We typically release updates roughly every 2 to 4 weeks. You can also reach out to us by email, or we also do video calls with our customers. Just maybe quickly to show you our website. So here you can, for example, go to documentation. You see all the commands are here, ordered alphabetically. You can get a technology overview to see what we do. You can download the free trial version. You can also check in our forum, ask a question. We're very, very responsive, and we really like to engage with our customers and users. This is our YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/Miracoy, and you see all the videos, product design tutorials, command explanations, and so on. All right, so now let's dive right into Rhino. So This is the familiar Rhino user interface. If you download XirusCAD, you will see that a new menu item appears, which is actually called XirusCAD. These are all our commands. You can, as you can see here, you can start creating XirusCAD primitives. You can apply all kinds of XirusCAD features from the menu point. We have curve tools, we have subdivision, we have conversion tools to go to mesh or NURBS. We have surfacing tools, blending tools, create watertight junctions, subdivision, face-based operations, edge-based operations, and so on. Also, if you prefer to use toolbars, you will see that there is a new toolbar, which are, again, all the XirusCAD features. And if you prefer to use the command line by typing Xirus, you will see again the same commands all in the command line. Now, let me start with a few primitives, just to give you an overview how to apply them, what's the difference between the Rhino primitives. If you prefer, you can also start using Rhino primitives, but we usually recommend to use the XirusCAD primitives right away. So here I created a few of them. Let me just replicate them quickly. For example, go to primitives, rectangle. You can choose the number of points you would like to have in each direction, and you can create, for example, a rectangle. You can do the same with the sphere. Choose the number of points you want in each direction. Here you have the sphere. You can do the same with the cylinder. You can also create curves using the primitives command. So for example, here we have straight lines, polylines, curves with tangent control, circles, ellipses, arcs. Let me, for example, illustrate this one here, which is basically a curve with tangent control. So you can always control the tangent and then control the next point, draw the point, then draw the tangent, and everything obviously is smooth, as you see. So this is one feature that some of our designers appreciate. Now, as you can see, once you have created some primitives, there are some new ways to interact with them. For example, if you want to access the control points, one particular thing is that they directly lie on the surface, as you can see here. For example, if I touch one of them, you can see there's no control cage. It's directly on the surface and everything is smooth. So this is one of the differences compared to the native Rhino control points. Also, if you move a control point, notice that the area that's affected is exactly one vertex to the left, one to the right, one up and one down. So the support is very localized. This can be adjusted. If you prefer a less detailed control, you can actually also set that the area that's affected is larger. And then another particular thing about basic shape control is, for example, the tangent control that we provide. Here you can see that you can display the tangent planes at every control point. Now, if I move one tangent, you actually don't move the control point itself, but instead you can control the flatness around the control point, or also the sharpness. If you make it very small, you can see you can create kinks. You can also switch between the tangent in one direction or the tangent in another direction. As you can see here, you can very easily adjust the smoothness that way. So this is some of the basics that we provide. Since we are describing primitives, let me also quickly show you that these primitives can be converted into Rhino primitives. For example, if I choose this sphere here, you can go to the icon that's called conversion. Then you see here Xirus to NURBS, NURBS to Xirus, Xirus to mesh. So for example, if I click on Xirus to NURBS, now this is actually a NURBS surface, and I can prove this to you by displaying the NURBS control points that are here. If you look at the Xirus control points, you can see they are actually on the surface as I showed before. and here you have the NURBS control net on the right. You can actually also convert this sphere back. So now I choose the sphere and I go to NURBS to Xirus, and you can see now we're back to a Xirus surface because I can display the tangents on that surface as you see. All right, so these are the very, very basics. Let me go to a more sophisticated example, which is this one here, just to give you an overview of what you can do very quickly with these new Freeform tools. So, for example, here I want to create this structure here from torus. So I go to primitives, I choose torus, and I can specify the number of control points that I want to have in both directions. And then I just quickly draw here the example that I already have drawn before, more or less. So this is very, very quick, as you can see. And let me do a rotation such that I have this point pointing up here. So this is actually a 90 degrees rotation. All right. Now you can see this is very simple, just a torus. Now, for example, let's display the tangent plane. What I can do now is I can simply pull here, and you can already see that we are getting or replicating something very similar to the shape that you can see on the right. You can also, for example, manipulate directly the surface points while having the tangents displayed at the same time. So here I choose both of them, and then, for example, I can push and pull here a little bit, and you can see that already we have this ring-shaped structure. If you want to see if it's smooth or not, let's just call the Rhino emap function, and you can see that this looks all very, very smooth. So these are some of the functions that allow you to do very quick freeform organic modeling. Now, another thing I want to tease you with, let's say, is our subdivision functionality. We have the subdivision panel. You can do global or local subdivision. So, for example, if I choose local subdivision, I can choose the surface I want to subdivide, and then I can hover over the faces. I can select multiple faces. For example, I choose the 4 top faces here, press enter when done, and you see that we got these new parameter lines inserted, and actually all the new edges or vertices that you see have the same properties like any other control point, which means now, for example, I can go again and display the control points. I can move them a little bit around, and you see, so this is all still very, very smooth. You can subdivide again if you want to insert more local control or add more details if you want. So these are some of the standard operations. Let's move on to another example, as you can see here. And what I want to show you here is the bridge command that we have. So here we have created 2 cylinders, and we have a command that allows you to create bridges between faces. I will illustrate this in a second, just here to show you some examples of what you can do with that. So this is a very, very simple command. If you go to surface tool, here you have the bridge, and then you can first select the first surface and then select the face that you want to use for the bridge. For example, this one here, you select the second surface and then select the second face, and then select the points. I have here the points that are highlighted. If you prefer to choose another highlighting color, that's fine. And then you can choose the point. You can choose the point on the other side. You choose the direction, either this one here or this one pointing up. This is a little bit unfortunate, but you can see that with this white color here is pointing up. Choose the direction, and there you create the bridge. And you can also create several bridges, one next to each other if you want. That is also fine. You can, for example, just create one more here. And the nice thing here is actually that once you create your new object, it still keeps the properties like any other surface that is not patch based. For example, again, you can display the tangents if you want, as you can see here, and you can keep deforming them or deforming the shape and preserving the smoothness. So as you can see, I can very simply modify the created shape and everything remains smooth. You can also choose to move control points, tangents, other things, and this is a very, very quick and convenient way to create these kind of surface patches, because what I want to highlight here is that the patches that you see here are non-regular. They have actually here, for example, you see 5-sided patches. So this is a topology that can be quite challenging to create. And so we provide this bridge command for that. Let me make another example.
Daniel, can I interrupt you just for a second? I have a quick question that I think it's relevant here. Is it possible to merge two faces before applying the bridge?
What do you mean by merging?
We're asking John. So, John, if you can clarify your question.
Maybe I can answer in a general way. So what we offer right away in this current update is you can create bridges between two faces, as I showed before. In an update that we're going to release very soon, you will be able to merge or create bridges between larger groups of faces. For example, imagine you want to not only create a bridge between the face here on the left and on the right, but between this whole area here comprising two faces and the whole area here comprising two other faces. This would be possible very soon. In the current version, it's not yet implemented, but we're actually working on the command and already testing internally, so this should be available pretty soon.
Yes, John says to make it larger. I don't know if it helps.
That's exactly probably what I explained, okay. I think. And it's actually a very good question. I appreciate this feedback because we have received exactly the same request from multiple users, and so we understand that this is something that is very useful in practice. And so after several users asked us to do this, we started to work on it. So that's really the way we function. You know, our development life cycle is such that we put something out, we ask the users to test it, to try it, to give us feedback, and based on the feedback, we evolve these commands. And of course, this always stays within the same package. You know, if you purchase XirusCAD as it is now, you can benefit from all the updates of this version in the future. So actually what you're purchasing now is getting better every week, let's say. So yeah, actually, so to come back to the request of John, we are actually working on it and it should be available very soon.
Fantastic.
Yes, thanks for this input. Maybe let me go to the next example, which is another command that I would like to highlight. We call this command patch command, and it also allows you to create these irregular topologies like you can see here on the side of the sunglasses. For example, this is a 6-sided surface. Also for example, the surface inside here, which I believe has 8 or 10 edges, you can create with this patch command. Here a bunch of other examples. For example, if you create these rings, you can see that here are certain structures that are non-standard. And so I would like to quickly illustrate how this works because it's actually very, very simple. I illustrate this with the example of this Y branch here. So I have pre-modeled the starting shape of the Y branch, which I believe everybody knows how to get there, but the interesting part is how to apply the patch command. So let me just show you the last step here. We have this curve tool, which allows us to create curves which are smoothly connected to their surrounding edges, as you can see here. And then when you execute the command, you can actually choose the bending between the curves through this dialog window, and it's actually always smoothly connected to the two endpoints. And so this is how we created all these 3 curves in between these half cylinders. And once you have that, you can simply apply the patch command by selecting all the edges that you want to have as edges of the patch. So this can be edges that are part of a surface, or can be edges that are simple curves. And so once you select them, you can just hit enter, and here you have the patch. And actually, what is very interesting is you can keep modifying this part once you have created the patch. So first I quickly mirror this to show you how this structure looks actually when it's finished. So here you can see we have the full cylinder, the full Y branch, sorry. And now I can join all these faces. And once I've done that, I can actually, for example, again, I display these tangents, and let me select maybe this one here, and I can just modify it. And you can see that the patch and the surrounding area keeps being modified. So it's a very convenient way to create structures that are a little bit less standard, but then once you've created them, you can still keep modifying, and you always preserve the smoothness between all the faces. So yes, this is the patch command. Maybe I quickly give over the mic to Pablo, who will show you one or two other examples.
Yeah, I will just quickly show you how to use these commands that Daniel showed you, just in the context of more traditional commands like blending, for example. We also provide a blending command. Here I just show you the model of a knife that I made a tutorial of this that you can find in the YouTube channel. So here I will just show you how to do blending with Xirus between two. These are two rectangles that I made with Xirus, and I deform, you know, to make the handle of a knife. So now I'm going to call watertight blend. That is the right button in this toolbar icon. So then I will click my first Xirus surface, my second Xirus surface, then an edge loop to join, and the second edge loop to match. So then here I click matching points. And then here you see a new surface that is blending the two. So I can flip as I want the ends of the surface. And then here with the sliders, you see how I control the smoothness of this junction. I can make it bigger or smaller. And I can change the scale, the kind of continuity. I can make it G0 if I want. But I will check it with G1. Here I click OK, and then here I have a new Xirus object that I can subsequently subdivide with the Xirus global subdivision. Here I subdivide in U direction with 2 units. So here you see a new edge that I can select with Xirus select edge loops. Then here I can move this around, as you see. So this is very convenient because it gives me the possibility of doing a very particular handle of a knife in this case. So here, imagine I just do it for every side of the knife. And then still I have some 4 holes here that I can still join with the Xirus curve tool that just Daniel showed you. And here, for example, here I want to fill this hole with a new curve. Here I just adjust tangency to make a proper partition of this hole, and then I call the Xirus patch command to fill it. Okay, click here, click the second one. And then here I have 2-3 patches that are filling this hole. So now here from 2 Xirus rectangles and 4 blendings and 4 patch application tools, then I can get to a final surface in which I have a full closed model in Xirus. Then I export it using the XirusNURBS command, and then I get to a purely NURBS representation of this. Here, if you're curious, you can just see the structure of the control points of this object. So this is completely smooth, and it's 3D printable, and it's completely closed. And then just to finish, I will show you this model of this golf stick. This model was done by Corsi Rhino here in Milano. So we thank Riccardo Gatti for it. And here, let's say we start from a set of profile curves that are done with Xirus. So these are curves with only 2 points, so one end point and one start point. And then here with the curve tool, I just model this profile. Then what I do is I just fill it with patches. That means that here I call the Xirus patch tool for every 4 or 3 Xirus curves that are doing a hole. I just call the command, and then here I do several patches, as you see here. Then I do this subsequently, and then I get to this, for example, this step in which I've done it for all of them. And in this current version of Xirus, you have to do it for every hole. But we are working on updating, by which you just select the whole set of profile curves, and you will have all the patches done there. So then here I just finish for all of them, and I have my final surface. And this final surface is still editable. So that means that I come to Xirus points, Xirus augmented surface points, and I can still modify this accordingly, as you see here. I can rotate it, and it keeps smoothness.
That's fantastic. Wow.
Yeah,
and before we move forward and then we list the spot. Is it possible to adjust tangency symmetrically with both sides at the same time?
What you can do is to call here, for example, let's call here tangency. So now here I have this tangent plane, and I select all these points. And then if I move it, it will affect in this axis symmetrically, as you see here.
Excellent.
I don't know if that answers your question, but we have received requests of breaking this symmetry of just adjusting one tangent, and we are working on that. For the moment, what will happen is that the other side of the tangent will behave accordingly.
Thank you.
See here. And actually, yeah, I was about to finish here, because I will just show you that still you can call subdivision commands. You can come to Xirus global subdivide, for example here, and then add, for example, 3 divisions every point. And then here I can select faces that I want to move this like this. And then this is very convenient because I have very, many ways to add detail to my object and still have it completely smooth. And in this case, having a full closed model. Still, I can export to NURBS. Here, export the original model, and then I can join this into a complete object, calling join. And then you see we'll have here a fully closed object that we can send to a CNC machine. And actually, yeah, that was it for my side.
Yeah, thanks, Pablo. So maybe I take over again. So these are basically the examples we want to show you. Now, maybe I just want to talk quickly a little bit about compatibility also. So because I guess, Barbara, one of the next requests you might get is if we are Grasshopper compatible. That's usually one of the very early questions we get. So let me address that quickly. So since we can convert all our models into NURBS, as you can see here, this is simply a BRep that you can actually let me explode it. That you can actually import or use as a Grasshopper object. But so this you can do, and this is also something that we did based on user requests we got. Before we were not fully BRep compatible, now we are. So you can use these BReps as a Grasshopper input. We don't provide a pure Grasshopper plugin yet, because this is simply because of the way we set our priorities, which are also based on user requests. So before we will tackle a Grasshopper implementation, we work on refining the UX and the user interactivity and the user friendliness. So what we're actually doing is we encourage all the users to send us feedback, send us messages, tell us how you would like to improve the command, do it either by email or forum, and then we work on this. For example, based on that, we have implemented, for example, this editor here. Let me just illustrate this. For example, when you select a an object, you can choose now and very quickly move between tangents, surface points, and so on. You can also very quickly choose if you want to hover over edges, if you want to hover over faces. And this is something that we did completely based on user feedback. We were not aware before that such a functionality can be useful. So we really encourage everybody to tell us what you like and also tell us what you don't like. And so we can prioritize it and work on that. And so for the moment, we think that improving the UX based on user requests is a higher priority than tackling the Grasshopper plugin, because we simply have also limited resources. So please go and buy our product so we can keep working on it, and then afterwards we can work on the Grasshopper plugin soon. Maybe two other things, or at least another thing regarding one of your comments, Barbara. So for Symmetry, we have had a bunch of requests to implement a feature to do symmetric modeling, which means you basically have an axis on the in a space or in a plane, and what you do on one side simultaneously appears on the other side. We are working on that. This will come to XirusCAD at some point, and so we're also aware of that. We also think that's a feature that's very, very useful for freeform organic modeling. The requests basically came from people from the jewelry industry and also from the marine design industry. So we are working on that, and this will also arrive, well, as soon as possible, let's say.
Absolutely.
And so Barbara, I don't know if you have a bunch of other questions, or if I should just keep illustrating maybe a bit documentation and what we do and our website, because we're basically through with the examples. If you have any particular requests, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, I would like maybe to show you quickly a bit more in detail our website and the way we support the people. What do you think?
One question, I think you already illustrated it, but let's make sure. John was asking if it's possible to have curvature continuity, and I think you proved that you do.
Yes, by curvature continuity, I think you are referring to G2 continuity, probably. So I can make a quick example.
Yeah, you can make.
Maybe I let Pablo.
Yeah, you can just quickly make for example, a sphere here, with some points. Actually, let's just make a bit of subdivision. And then I just make a rectangle here. And then, so now I want to merge this rectangle to this sphere. So here I have an object with G2 continuity, and then I will merge the rectangle with it. Actually, I will do it with watertight join edges. I select the first, the second, then I select an edge to join, and then an edge in the sphere. So then here, I'm happy with this. I press OK. So here I have my plane joining the sphere, and then here you can check that the continuity is smooth, actually, in the sense that it joins the sphere. Actually, I will have to increase the sampling rate just here, just to note.
Yeah, maybe you can quickly explain the resolution of our surfaces through the option page.
Yeah, I just increase the resolution of mesh, because sometimes the zebra looks a bit messy if the mesh is not dense enough. But here you see quite well that actually my rectangle is joining the stripes of my sphere. So that means that the continuity is being done with G2 quality. It means that Xirus supports this kind of unions in an optimal way, I would say.
And actually, you can choose when you do these blending options. You can choose if you want G0, G1, and G2. That's what we offer at the moment. And maybe another thing I can illustrate is that you can also basically collapse the edges. Can you quickly maybe make an example, Pablo? If you have an edge that is smooth and you prefer to unsmooth it,
yeah, you can collapse Xirus augmented points, like calling this command Xirus collapse. Showing this sphere because it's big, it's not very graphical. But then here I just do it here. So here I have a smooth sphere, and I collapse a point, and then you see that this point became a kink.
So this is now basically a G0 vertex.
Yeah, exactly. So we pretty much control this kind of continuity in Xirus.
Yeah, and if you're really interested in curvature, there's actually even more options. For example, you can actually, if I go to wireframe mode, also change the curvature of surface. So before I showed you the tangent plane, which is this one here, shaded mode, you can recognize it very easily, but you can also change the curvature. This is much more for, let's say, advanced users who really like to have very particular curvature values. But this handle that you see here, the blue one, is actually in fact the curvature at this point. And as you can see, now I'm modifying the curvature of the surface without actually touching the tangent plane. So if you want only to modify curvature, you can even do that directly through the handles as well. So this is yeah, it's actually a very good question. You can handle G1, G2, and G0 in all kinds of ways if you want. Yes. Anything else, Barbara?
No,
any
that
other
was
requests?
That was it.
Okay, that sounds very nice. Thanks for this request. Let me quickly maybe just illustrate the way we support our users by maybe showing a bit more in detail the website. So you can just go to mirakoi.com. This is our website. We just launched our first product to the market 6 weeks ago, so we're very, very excited, and we really encourage everybody, go download it, try it, buy it, and let us know what you like. We're really a very, very user-driven or user feedback-driven development team. So the more people use it, the quicker the software will get better. We think already it's pretty stable. This is not only our assessment, but this is also the assessment of the users and the feedback we get. It's very, very stable. It's very robust. It doesn't crash. But what we like to do is to have your feedback on specific commands and on workflow. What are you using it for? So we can learn fast and improve fast. So you can actually just go to download, and then you can very quickly just try XirusCAD and have a free trial for 30 days. Then we have this panel here with documentation, which has all the XirusCAD commands listed alphabetically. And so here you see all the icons, all the commands, and this actually reminds me of something else I can show you. This was a request from the users to include this icon here called all commands, and here you also can see all the commands that we have. Some are submenus, some have left or right mouse click, but here you can see everything. And so let's go back to the website. Here you have all the commands. Then you can also go to the technology tab if you want to have an overview, if you would like to see what are some of the strong features that we offer, what are the main differentiating factors from other tools or other kernels. And so this is also something that we initiated based on user feedback. And then you can of course go to youtube.com/mirakoi. And so here we publish regularly videos. You can see that we published the last thing 4 weeks ago. This was the product design tutorial. We also have all the commands here. If you go to playlist, you can see XirusCAD commands. We have 88 command videos right now. Then we have a learning channel, as you can see here, introductory videos and technology highlights. And then the last thing that so we have a gallery where we also you can also download 3D files. There will be much more in the future. We're working very hard on this one. And then we have the forum where we really encourage you to participate, or if you prefer not to publicly give us feedback, send us a message, send us an email, get in touch with us. We also try to be at the Rhino conferences or at other CAD conferences, because we really like to talk to the users, and that's how we improve the product. Yeah, anything else you want to add, Pablo?
No, it's just a thing that we really want users to give us feedback, to be harsh, to be really tough, because that's the way to improve. And yeah, we are pretty much in pleasure to doing that. We really like it, so.
Yeah, that's exactly our philosophy. You know, we talk to the users, we try to meet as many as we can from as many industries as we can, and we're working very, very hard to make this a very complete kernel to do freeform organic modeling, to be intuitive, to make things or allow you to build things that you couldn't build before. And so we really care about our user base, and so please just go and download, try it, and let us know what you think. Give us feedback. If you buy it, then we have more resources to develop quicker. So I think that's obvious. So we're very, very much looking forward to expand our user base, and let us know what you think.
Sounds like a great plan. Sounds like a great plan. There's one more question. Do you support Zoo or cloud-based licensing?
So what we support at the moment, we don't support Zoo yet. But what we offer are perpetual licenses. We offer something that we believe sounds a little bit revolutionary in the Rhino ecosystem. We also offer SaaS licenses. So you can purchase licenses for a limited period of time if you like to do that. And this is actually also a thing we did based on user requests, because we sometimes talk to design studios to tell us that they like to purchase or would like to have a SaaS version, because then they can directly pass on the licensing costs to their clients. So we implemented that. And to come back to your question, Barbara, what we offer are floating licenses, but not through the Zoo server. We're not sure if we can do that very quickly. I know there are some people who would like to do that, but one of the let's say one of the challenges we're facing right now is that this means that we have to rely on the Zoo cloud interface, which is not exactly what we like to do now, because for the moment we prefer to manage the license system ourselves until we also know that the Zoo is 100% stable. I think this makes sense, but of course we're thinking about it. There are some users that would like to have that. What we do for the moment, when users have trouble to install software, or sometimes there are some companies that have issues with proxies or very restricted access to the internet, we always offer video calls, debugging sessions. We make sure that all our users can install their software in any kind of environment they have. We actually also, based on user requests, implemented non-online activation, so you can just do it with I think it's a QR code and your smartphone. So if you have no internet access, you can also use it. We provide floating licenses, as I mentioned. If you are interested in buying bundled licenses, then of course you can talk to Novedge, you can talk to us, and we will make that happen. We are very, very flexible and really try to do everything possible such that our users don't get into trouble with all this kind of, let's say, activation or IT-based issues. So, but about the Zoo, we still have to think about it.
Yeah, and I would add that we are working very closely with McNeil. They really help us a lot in development, and with no doubt we will also have help from them, in order to set up a Zoo system. So that will not be a problem eventually.
Yeah, so we're actually thinking about it. Yeah, as Pablo mentioned, we're very happy that we get all this fantastic support from the McNeil Seattle guys, the McNeil Barcelona guys. They're actually very kind with us, so we hope we manage to yeah, maybe implement this Zoo thing soon. Another thing that I want to mention is XirusCAD is free for all educational institutions, for students, for teachers, everybody who is somehow enrolled or related to an educational institution. It's a great pleasure to make that happen. So if you are a student or if you are a teacher, then please get in touch with us. You don't have to go through any complicated IT system of your school or anything like that. You can just use it for free. So, and this will always be the case. So this is, of course, something very important that I should mention. And yeah.
Great. Yeah, this is a great promise. And get on it, students, start learning. Okay, so I'm taking the screen back just to remind everybody where, first of all, I want to thank everybody for attending today. I want to remind everybody where they can find XirusCAD on our catalog. And then also there's a promo right now till the end of the month. So go to novedge.com, go to Miracoy and download the free trial. And then if you like it, you can get it on sale until the end of the month. And Novedge is changing the way designers purchase 3D software. We offer more choices, more freedom, best advice, faster services. And as you can see, we don't only have Cyrus, we have Rhino, and plenty of other products on our catalog. So come check us out, novedge.com. To watch this webinar, you can go on YouTube and Vimeo later on today. Thank you guys for a very exciting presentation. I don't know you guys.
Well, thank you so much for having us, and thank you for let me thank quickly also to the audience and the users, and let me thank to the whole Novedge team. It's a great pleasure for us to team up with you guys in North America, and we're very excited about our future collaboration. So thanks, Barbara, and also to your whole team for having us on.
Likewise, we really like your enthusiasm, and we're really encourage the way of you do things in constant contact with the customer base and listening to feedback. That's in this day and age is the only way to do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Have a great rest of the day or night. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day. Bye bye.